Good day. I'm a student of KNUST University of Science and Technology from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and I'm presenting on why educated people still struggle with critical thinking. Let's see. Everyone says critical thinking is vital for personal growth and society's progress. It makes sense. With all stories spreading fast, technology changing daily, politics growing tense, and the world feeling unpredictable. We need the habit of stepping back, questioning beliefs without fear, weighing evidence honestly, and reaching sound conclusions. Yet, even though we all point to critical thinking as the key for building economies, sparking new ideas and keeping democracy strong, many people still find it hard to do it in practice. Not just students, but graduates, doctors, and officials too. That raises a puzzling truth. If it's so valuable, why do so many stumble at using it regularly? As Richard Paul and Wanda Elder define it, critical thinking is the art of analyzing and evaluating information objectively, checking evidence, identifying assumptions, and reaching reason conclusions. It goes beyond test scores or raw intelligence. Sharp thinking shows up when questions matter. People stay small, when it guides small, and truth counts. Because a degree does not mean family principle. Many, many educated people still fall for false claims. Let educations guide choices or claim to prejudice. Because learning facts in class rarely removes mental shortcuts or pushes curiosity. Knowing information is one thing. Questioning it takes something else entirely. This study suggests the reason smart people choose away is not lack of effort, but tangled habits of mind. Reliance of mental shortcuts and teaching methods that reward memory over analysis.
Here are some cases of critical thinking. Critical thinking matters for growth. Critical thinking helps people make better decisions by carefully analyzing facts instead of relying on emotion or assumptions. It improves learning, problem solving, confidence, and judgment in everyday life, school, and work. And also, critical thinking matters for scientific and technological advancement. Critical thinking drives innovation by encouraging people to ask questions, test ideas, and solve problems. This helps scientists, engineers, and inventors create new technologies and improve existing ones through evidence and logical reasoning.
I'll be presenting on cognitive and psychological barriers to critical thinking. Cognitive and psychological barriers to critical thinking are mental obstacles that prevent people from thinking clearly, logically, and objectively. These barriers can cause individuals to rely on biases, emotions, assumptions, overconfidence, and mental shortcuts instead of carefully evaluating evidence before making decisions. As you can see, these barriers can influence the way we think and make decisions. It is important to remain open-minded, question our assumptions, and evaluate evidence carefully. Thank you.
So, critical thinking struggles because of how we are taught and how we live with others. School often reward memorizing facts over questioning them. So people end up with lots of information, but little practice in analyzing, judging logic, or thinking independently. A diploma shows subject minutes, not whether someone questions or the other. Socially, we prefer to fit in, so we follow groups' opinions to avoid conflict, even when they are wrong. We also trust authority figures too easily and assume their words are true without checking. In many cultures, questioning elders or traditions is seen as disrespectful, which discourages curiosity from the start. All of this means we are often trained to obey and agree instead of to think critically for ourselves.
Educational and social barriers. Critical thinking is often blocked by both education and society. In school, we are usually trained to memorize and repeat facts for tests instead of questioning ideas, which make people good at recalling info but weak at analyzing and spotting bad logic. Having a degree also doesn't guarantee someone clearly thinks outside their field. Socially, most people go along with the crowd to avoid conflict. So wrong ideas can feel true just because everyone agrees with it. We can also intend to trust authority figures like teachers or leaders without checking facts for ourselves. Culturally, questioning elders or traditions can be seen as disrespectful, so curiosity gets discouraged early. Together, these barriers teach us to fit in and obey rather than ask questions.
Why education does not guarantee? We often assume that the more educated someone is, the better they think. But education and critical thinking are not the same thing. You can have degrees, good grades, and a lot of knowledge and still struggle to reason carefully. So the real question is why even educated people find it hard to think critically. First, most school systems reward memory, not analysis. Classes are built around exams, scores, and giving the right answers. Students learn to repeat information instead of questioning it. And when the goal is marks and approval, it feels safer to agree with the textbook or teacher than to analyze different views. That habit follows us into adult life. Second, ego and identity get in the way. The Dunning-Kruger effect shows that people who are very confident in what they know often react defensively when challenged. More schooling can sometimes make that worse because it feels risky to admit you might be wrong. At the same time, when ideas are tied to tribe, politics, faith, or heritage, doubting them can feel like betrayal. So we protect the idea instead of testing it. As philosopher Harvey Sejal points out, real education should teach us to back ideas with evidence and reason carefully, not just transfer content. Knowledge gives you facts, but critical thinking gives you the skill to use those facts well. That skill takes self awareness, honesty, and consistent practice questioning yourself. Even when it's uncomfortable, in the end, education gives you knowledge, but critical thinking is a separate skill. You build it by doubting, checking, separating your ego from your idea.
Pathways to think critically. Critical thinking develops through curiosity, reflection, and open mindedness. People become better thinkers when they ask questions, learn from mistakes, and consider different points of view. Schools, workplaces, and communities should encourage discussion and independent thinking rather than blind agreement. Progress happens when individuals challenge assumptions, evaluate evidence carefully, and remain willing to change their minds. By promoting curiosity and honest dialogue, critical thinking can help people make better decisions and contribute to positive change.
So, to conclude, critical thinking is an essential skill that benefits both individuals and society. It allows us to make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and understand different perspectives instead of simply accepting information at face value. In today's world, where we are surrounded by so much information, so being able to think critically is more important than ever. Throughout this presentation, we have seen that education alone does not automatically develop critical thinking. While schools provide us with knowledge, true critical thinking comes from questioning ideas, analyzing evidence, reflecting on our own beliefs, and being willing to change our opinion when new evidence is presented. We also learn that everyone has biases and can make mistakes, but recognizing these weaknesses is first step toward becoming better thinker. Moving forward, schools and communities should encourage curiosity, open discussions, and real-life problem solving instead of focusing only on memorizing facts and achieving high test scores. Students should feel comfortable asking questions, sharing different viewpoints, and learning from their mistakes. These experiences help build confidence, creativity, and independent thinking. In the end, critical thinking is not about always being right. It's about staying open minded, making informed decisions, and continuously learning. By developing these skills, we can become more reasonable individuals, make wiser choices, and contribute to stronger communities and a better future for everyone. Thank you.